Hello and welcome to 5-Year Club video number 178. We're going to talk about home security on a budget. I don't believe in professional security systems. I don't believe in, maybe for a corporation you have to protect the Ant-Man prototype. Then yeah, you put in some lasers and you hire some people to guard it full time. But for normal people living in their homes, I'm not a fan of these security systems that can cost thousands of dollars to install, and then you have to pay a monthly fee indefinitely from then. And they might have like some kind of separate notification service from the phone line, so that if the phone line is cut or the power is off, it'll still work with like a backup battery. I'm not a fan of them for several reasons. Number one, it introduces a fixed monthly cost that is just going to go on forever, that you don't really have any control of. Number two, the technology around home security systems is going to change and improve over time. So when you install your system, and I've seen this in several houses over the years, the house is going to be stuck with like a 15-year-old security system when you sell it, a 20-year-old security system when you sell it. And so I don't think you're going to get as much benefit in terms of like home equity value as they might sell you on. And I think there's also a very large number of things you can do that are one-time costs that give you a big benefit in thinking about home security. And for all those reasons, I am not a big fan of the professional security systems that can be installed. But what would I suggest for home security? Well, let's go down the list. Number one, take care of the obvious things. You want to block sliding doors and sliding windows with a piece of wood. I've got a sliding window thing right next to me. Here's my piece of wood. All you got to do is jam it on the other side of, whatever door it is that you're trying to block, and then the door won't slide. And if you want to open the door, you just have to pick up the piece of wood. Not that big of a deal. It's just, Home Depot, wood's cheap. You can find some scrap wood. It's an easy thing to do. Number two would be door locks, door jams. So something I learned from a locksmith is that Schlage locks are significantly harder to pick than Kwikset. So if you're going to install a lock, Schlage is a better brand. I've seen some kind of weird European ones with key designs that I'm not familiar with. If you're kind of nerdy and you just want a cool key, maybe you go with one of those. I've also seen one where, and I'm sure you guys have seen these before, where it's an extra lock that you install that you would like engage at night, where these things overlap like this and then a bar goes down between them. That seems like a really solid one. All these locks are not terribly expensive. They're also not terribly difficult to install, especially if you live in an apartment, especially an apartment in like a high-rise building. That door is going to be the main way that somebody would get into your apartment, unless you have something like a fire escape and a window. All right. Number three, smart lights. All right. So just because I look right now, the Hue set is on sale on Amazon.com. I think it comes with 4 lights and the communication station. What smart lights are lights that are connected to your Wi-Fi system ultimately, so that you can use your phone to program those lights. You can use your phone to turn them on and off remotely when you're on vacation. You can have the lights detect when your phone is near and come on before you enter your apartment or home. You can have the lights turn off if you leave the home. You can program all the lights separately to be different levels of dimness. You can put them on a schedule where they turn on and you wake up to them. You can do all kinds of things with smart lights. They're pretty cool. They're getting cheaper and cheaper over time. If you buy the $120 set with 4 lights, then each additional light right now I think is $15 or $20. These are LED lights. They should last for a pretty long time. I haven't lost one yet, and I installed mine back in 4 years ago. So on the security side with smart lights, one thing that you can do is they have smart switches that you can put into the system. What that means is you could have a smart switch next to your bed that you'd set up with your phone. The setup's all pretty easy. If you're worried about it, there are YouTube videos and tons of links online to figure out how to set this stuff up. But you could put a switch next to your bed, and that switch, when you touch it, could just turn on every single smart light that you have installed in your home. And if you've installed them strategically, those would be lights that are, lighting up the critical areas of your downstairs area. It could also turn on floodlights outside. It's just an easy way, even if you have just a traditional wiring system, to be able to say, I'm freaked out, turn on every room downstairs because I want to see everything that's going on in my home right now. And light is so important at night to figure out what's going on, because a lot of the other things you can do with security don't really matter that much if you have no idea what's going on because it's dark. So I think smart lights are just a good security safety move that is getting more affordable all the time, and they have side benefits in terms of, if you connect them with one of the voice control systems they have now, either Google or Amazon's Alexa or Amazon's Echo, Google, it's not called Google Voice, it's called Google Home. Yeah, then you can actually just walk through your home and tell the lights to turn on or off, which is convenient if you're holding something. And it's also convenient, those systems, like I would ask my kitchen light to turn on before I put something in the oven, and then I would ask the Amazon Alexas, what I happen to have, to time whatever I'm cooking in the oven. So it's just nice and convenient. So yeah, smart lights I think are a good security move. Stickers and signs. So you can actually just buy the stickers and the signs by major security companies like ADT and Brinks. You can find them on eBay. They're probably on Amazon. And just put those signs in your yard on windows. And it's a deterrent. Prevention is better than cure. There are a lot of things we can do to simply make our homes less attractive targets to criminals. And they're super cheap, like these stickers. So consider that. The next step is, if you do get robbed, you don't want the people to get all your goodies. So you need to think about, where are you putting your goodies? If you have some really important stuff, you need to have that probably in a safety deposit box at a bank. If you want a safe at home, that's cool, but you need to bolt it to the floor or put it in a wall. Otherwise, people will just pick it up and take the safe away. I've even seen a lot of cases where people will leave a safe behind and then come back and rob the place a week later and take the safe, because they figure something good must be in there. Fake cameras are also a thing that you can, in addition to the stickers and the signs and all that. But yeah, back to where is your valuable stuff. The first places that people look are in the master bedroom. And this is like according to law enforcement officers. So drawers in the master bedroom, closets in the master bedroom, where people might be keeping jewelry, and under the mattress. It's very quick to look under a mattress. Those are the places where burglars look first. And so don't keep your stuff there, right? Bathrooms, medicine cabinets, and toilet tanks. Toilet tanks, I've read stories of people keeping guns in a toilet tank as like a safety thing. So, but this is apparently known, so watch out. In the kitchen, cereal boxes, cans, the freezer, maybe because it appeared on movies. In the living room, they look for car keys, they look in the drawers. And we already talked about safes. Next thing, a sturdy bedroom door or lock. Most people don't think about this, but the truth of the matter is, if somebody comes into your home at night and you are there to rob you, you don't want to deal with this bullshit. You don't want to see them. You don't want to talk with them. They could be high on some kind of drug. It's not in your best interest to interact with them. It is in your best interest to be safe from them, and having a sturdy bedroom door with a sturdy lock, and not one of these normal interior doors that's hollow that somebody can just kick in, is a good idea, and it can just make you feel safer. So that's another part of home security, is keeping yourself safe within your own home should something happen. You have a plan, and you have a place that you will likely be, and you know how to secure that very quickly. Prevention. Spotcrime.com will show you all of the assaults that have happened in different areas. So if you're checking out apartments to rent, you can look up the actual crime statistics for those street corners near where you live. and you can look at the actual car break-in statistics and the actual burglary statistics for the exact streets and blocks that you live on. It provides a map. So check out the actual facts before you purchase a home, before you choose to rent a home, and that way you know what you're getting into. There are many security camera options now, but I don't like many of them because they require a monthly fee, and I don't like monthly fees. However, as that space is moving ahead rapidly, we do have security cameras that do not have a monthly fee because they store the footage on an SD card actually on the camera. And I haven't looked in the details yet, but I know 100% that it's possible to connect from your phone to your home Wi-Fi network or whatever without an intermediary. And so you shouldn't have to pay anybody a fee to do that. And they have these cameras now that are like $50, I think $35 when they're on sale, that you can install at home, and you can access the footage remotely because it's actually just stored on the camera and you're connecting to the camera. I think for the higher definition cameras, it's like $100 maybe, 75. You can look up reviews. This stuff changes so rapidly that I don't want to be too specific about it. But yeah, if you want a security camera anywhere, there are good options. And most of these security cameras have these features like motion detection now. So if you don't have pets and you know there's somewhere that's not supposed to move and you want to be notified when it moves, you can install one of these things around your home, inside or outside. Cheap magnetic screechers. These are about $10 on Amazon for two. All it is two pieces that you would stick onto some surfaces that are near each other when a door is closed, and if that door opens and those surfaces are separated, it's going to emit a very loud screeching noise. So this is kind of a poor man's version of what some of those professional security systems do, but it's only $10 and it's a one-time cost. So that's great. I already mentioned a safety deposit box. Let's talk about some stuff that doesn't work now. Dogs don't really work in terms of security. Dogs, maybe some types of dogs can be a preventative measure, but when you actually look at the research where they, fake a burglary on somebody who owns a dog, most dogs are just like, oh, I love you just like I love everybody, which is a good characteristic for your dog because in most cases, like on Halloween, a bunch of weird stuff is going on and you don't want your dog to freak out and bite some kid. But those same characteristics that are good for dogs most of the time don't turn out to be effective in most burglary scenarios. So don't count on your dog as your security method. Guns. This is my thought on guns. A gun should be your last resort as a security method. So unless you have already implemented all of these things I've talked about in your home and you still feel the need for additional protection, then I think that getting a gun is jumping to the wrong solution. Statistically speaking, guns have a high risk of shooting the wrong person, shooting someone shooting some random person at night who wasn't doing anything sketchy. And that comes with a big risk. It comes with a big financial risk because you can be sued for that. Beyond the obvious, like it comes with a risk that you don't want to shoot someone. That's messed up. And so I don't begrudge people who keep guns for home protection. If you have one, okay, it's your right as an American, and in some areas, I would probably opt to have it. But when it comes to practical home security, all of these other things that are preventative and that are more about protecting you than hurting someone else are going to be more bang for the buck and are going to be less hassle in the long run. So I got to throw that in there because it's a big home protection issue. And then finally, I just wanted to mention bikes, right? So U-locks can be defeated with a ballpoint pen. There's a method to defeat a U-lock where you basically spray it with compressed air and that freezes the components. Then you hit it with a hammer, it breaks apart. Bolt cutters will also get through U-locks. Angle grinders will, but obviously there's not a lot of homeless people running around with angle grinders that we can see. Chain locks are worse than U-locks, but U-locks, criminals are extremely good at defeating them now, so do not purchase a super expensive bike and park it in a public area and expect that it won't be stolen because you have a hardened U-lock. It can be stolen. I've got tons of examples in San Jose of people's bikes being stolen. And finally, a little bit of a, I guess, philosophical note is that the more stuff you have, the more stuff you have for someone to steal, and the more stuff that you have that you can be disappointed about when it's stolen. So keep that in mind when you buy more stuff. That's another reason not to buy more stuff, because it's coming with this opportunity cost. It's coming with this emotional burden that sooner or later, someone's going to steal something from you. Sooner or later, someone's going to vandalize something, especially in the big coastal cities where there's higher population density and there's a bigger gap between rich people and poor people. So there's no reason to pretend that's not true. There's no reason to pretend that you're immune against these things. One benefit of minimalism is that when it comes to stuff, people can't do that much to you because there's not that much there. So that's what I'll wrap up with. I hope you enjoyed number 178. If you have any home security tips or tricks or things that you do on the budget, I would love to hear about it. And thank you for listening. Have a fabulous evening. Oh, and then I guess the final wrap-up note, because I left this tab open specifically because I wanted to mention I saw a YouTube video about it. Men going their own way. I've had a video on divorce before where I talk about men getting a bad deal in American divorce courts, in the sense that they won't get custody of their kids and they will get hit with a ton of child support and possibly alimony. And that's a big issue for some people right now. Among many others, there's a lot of issues just around changes in the last 10 years in relationships between the sexes. And one of the things that has come out of that are these movements like men going their own way, right? Which is like men who, let's just read what it says, is a mostly pseudonymous online community of men supported by websites and social media presences, cautioning men against serious romantic relationships with women, especially marriage. Yeah, so they don't like women or marriage. And this is fucking stupid. If there's any question what this channel thinks of it, it's this is stupid. You can't subscribe to a philosophy where an entire category of people is suspect. You have to work with reality. You have to engage with people. You have to be introspective yourself. You have to read things. You have to understand things. And you have to keep pushing forward, not subscribe to some kind of weird separatist group that just disconnects you with the world. So, yeah. This is apparently a thing, and it's really dumb. So, now you know. All right, that is the final thing. Have a fabulous evening.